This fall 2012 semester, 5 lucky studio art students took part in a project organized by the Center of Contemporary Art La Strozzina in Florence. The project, called Me, Myself and I, was inspired by La Strozzina's latest show dedicated to renowned 20th century artist Francis Bacon and the existential condition in art. Students from the advanced painting course worked on the theme Me, Myself and I with the aim of further investigating the relationship between the individual and society. This is a complex relationship which involves a personal awareness of one's body and one's cultural identity. LdM students then presented their works at the show on November 29th, along with many other study abroad students from other American and foreign universities in Florence. The works were made using different mediums, ranging from photos to paintings and installations. We spoke to the 5 students from LdM that presented their works at La Strozzina.
With Francis Bacon's paintings, what you see was what you got. He showed true reality. And what I like in particular with his work is the harsh, intimate lines. So I really wanted to incorporate that in my paintings. And I really wanted to use that kind of line work to show that I was fading away into the city, fading away into Florence, because adapting here, as you know, is very difficult. And I felt like those lines really helped demonstrate how one loses oneself in the city.
I guess I was really inspired by Bacon's process of working with his reference materials. The exhibit, like over here, it shows he has these tons of photographs, and I went to the Dublin City Gallery and actually saw the reconstruction of his studio, and I saw all of these collections of photographs and reference materials that he used. And I, after reading about him and studying him, I realized that he never directly translated these photographs into his paintings. They're all memories and the emotion behind it. So I thought maybe I could do that myself. Maybe I could work in the same process. And I know myself better than anyone else. I see myself every day in the mirror, but I don't know if I could really truly depict what I look like from memory. So I started with that, just with charcoal drawing. My paintings show the process behind it, so I left a lot of parts open with the charcoal to see my memory of myself, and then I would use a mirror to depict the actual natural skin tones that I was seeing in front of me. So in the end, it kind of just came about. I just let my hand take over, and it was really hard for me to just stop. There's a point where you're just like, is it done? Is it there yet? And then for my next piece, I looked at my piece and reflect and saw, these really detailed parts, and I wanted to do an up-close, weird angle of myself, an angle that I don't get to see. So I had to photograph myself, and I wanted to give it a weird tone. So that was my second piece. It was more detailed. It was kind of eerie. It was blue. It was cold. It was a side of me where my emotions took over and reflected through the colors and the composition.
My original intention was to just portray a self-portrait, maybe look at a model. But then as I started looking at myself in a mirror, seeing this human form, and then I looked at another woman, I started to think about my past experiences and who I've become, and these figures started looking the same. And I didn't really understand, so I used the fabric and the stitching itself to kind of gnaw into my body, literally, and the fabric, because it almost hurt. It hurt to grow, and it's this kind of confusion aspect, and then I created a womb. It's a circular piece. If you can look at it, it's very evolutionary, one starting at one point and then ending at the next. So I would say that my final ending point was essentially my finished growth, saying, okay, I think I know who I am now. Whereas I started and it was just me, a picture of me and the model. So I think that's probably how it ended.
Well, Andre and Gune, but at first I used his work because I loved his color usage and how the figure disappears, but over the time period of painting, as my painting developed, I more or less use his ideas and themes, but rather than his, like or actually his techniques and rather than his ideas, and I use my own personal self rather than him, like his idea, like his own, I guess. Well, my own emotions that, like for the portrait that I showed in the presentation, it was about breaking down, like at the point, because I have Asperger's and I get overwhelmed sometimes, and then I get to the verge of breaking down, and that's like the reaction of after it occurs. Yeah, really, and it helps me because I have trouble expressing my emotions. It helps me express the emotions that I feel deep inside, like even if I don't even mean to let it come through, it just comes through. Either, like for example, anger. Because I have a self-portrait that shows me angry, like it came through as angry.